Hi Crafty friend, it's me, Justine. Today I'm working with the collection Windows with a View from Tina Smith and Spellbinders. So I'm going to make one card on camera here. I have a little bit of it prepped, but not all of it by a long shot. And we're going to do some ink blending and some stencil work, die cutting, etc. And then after, at the end, I'll show you another card that I've made already. But this collection has a lot to it, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you some of the dies. There's this big window frame with some dies. You can make a kind of a box window for a flower bed kind of to go in. And then there's little add-ons for all, this whole collection is so cool. Okay, and then there's also like an underwater kind of theme. So there's this kind of portal window with some fish and tropical things. You can make palm trees and all sorts of cute little things. I'll pop pictures on the screen from the website so you can kind of get a good view. But then there's also gardening things here. There's a view of a tree with a possible tire swing and a bird bath, a little squirrel. Hi, Tracy. Tracy with the squirrel. She does not like them. But anyway, there's also an owl. I thought the owl would be really cute to do kind of like a Halloween kind of card. I don't know. I just really thought that this was a really packed collection with so much to it that you can make cards year round. And then there's also this, which I kind of think is kind of like the weather stuff. So there's a kite, a heart balloon, a sun, a moon, a cloud, lightning bolts, grass. You can do all sorts of things. So like I said, there's a lot to this collection. Those are all the dies. And then there's this stencil, which I find so interesting. One side is a city stencil, cloud stencil, mountain stencil with the tops of the mountain, grass. And then there's these little stencil pieces that go with this that you can use for kind of like masking off the stencil. So there's the city, so you can make the city and then make the buildings with the lights. Do you see that? And then there's grass, but you can also use like the back of a grass and make kind of like a layered look. Same with the clouds. There's this cloud cloud stencil piece that goes there. You can use for cloud work. And then this mountain range, which I'm going to use today. So, not done yet. There's even more. It's like those infomercials. But wait, there's more. There's a whole stamp set, and it is full of sentiments. Let's get some white paper to go behind it so you can see them all. But goodness, full of sentiments, and they're all very unique. It's not just hi, hello, thank you, happy birthday. They're interesting, and there's kind of a twist of adventure and kind of like, I don't know, they're just interesting. Like instead of hang in there, it says we will weather the storm together, and you can make a storm card, or you can do this one. I really like this font. Adventure is just outside your window. That could be for anything. So I think that this was a very well thought out stamp set, and I love it. So let's just go ahead and start to get the mountain range done. I have used Spellbinders paper to make my window. I used 3 layers, so this is a beefy window. Maybe this could go in my craft room. No, just kidding. We're waiting on actual windows still for my actual craft room. So those will come eventually, and hello, the light will pour in, and I'm really excited. Anyway, I have my clouds here. I have the moon die cut out, and then I used the Spellbinders glitter paper and die cut out these stars, and I can't wait to glue those little suckers on and use them as embellishment. But they're so cute. Look at how tiny they are. So darling. Anyway, I digress. I have Spellbinders. This is their black cardstock, and this is their dark gray. I don't remember the names of these. One day I'll be super wonderful and know all the names of all the cardstocks, but that day's not today. Anyway, and then I grabbed a piece of the blending paper, which is really good for blending, ink blending on, and this is what I'm going to use for my background. So the window goes kind of behind here. So the kind of first 3/4 of an inch does not need to be blended. So I'm going to pop my tape on there. Trying to allow myself to say pop on a video maybe 3 times. So that's the first pop. And let's grab my blending brushes and get to blending. So for this card, it's obviously night with my moon and stars, and I kind of went dark for the background. I was thinking of doing kind of a pinky blue purple kind of night sky. So now it's time for me to pick my inks that I have been delaying on picking out because I just have been. I think I'm going to go with Blueprint Sketch and Wilted Violet and Picked Raspberry if I can find it. I have one of these boxes for my distress inks and it's good, but I have a lot of ink now and I think I need one of those official, like, I'm a fancy crafter stamp storage, so we'll see. I think my dad and husband are both wood workers as a hobby, so I think between the two of them I can have something be made if I ask nicely. Ooh, that I might add that patina. All sorts of choices. Okay, so I'm going to just think about this for a second. If I make my mountains, I need to tape down this piece here because this is going to be where my mountains are, and I don't want my mountains to be pink, purple, and blue. I want them to be kind of showing. I think I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. 1, 2, 3 mountains. I kind of want it to be offset right about there. That looks good to me. Since this is going to represent nighttime, I'm going to start with my lightest color at the bottom as if the sun had just set and the moon is now up. So let's just rip the band-aid off and go with the Picked Raspberry first. Pickled raspberry. Can you hear my grandfather clock? It's chiming. It's working now. We have our living room semi back. Still waiting on windows, so we have things moved in, but not all the way. For my craft room, we have the rug. That's the only thing we moved back yet so far. But eventually I'll get back in there and things will be just as they were. Probably better because I'll have a little more organization and I'm only putting things back in the craft room that belong in the craft room. So no teaching things and no extra stuff. No kitchen stuff. My kitchen's right off of my craft room. So I really wanted to be intentional about putting things in there that needed to be there and not just there because it's a dumping ground. Maybe you can relate, but I don't know. That's just me. Okay, going in with, what's this one called again? Wilted Violet. All these names for the inks and the papers and get a little confused, but I really wanted the mountains to kind of glow. So I'm glad I went pink down there. Okay, then let's do our blue, which is Blueprint Sketch. This is one of my favorite blues. I think that this is gorgeous. And I think the yellow moon will really pop with this background. I don't want to fuss too much about this background because it's going to have that window over it. So it's not going to show like every single little swirl of my brush, but I do want to do my best. Maybe we'll go with faded jeans. Yeah, faded jeans. Didn't really want to go too black, but I think this is going to be a perfect finish. Okay, I'm going to use a hack with a post-it note for this part. I'm going to put the sticky part on my fingers and hold it here because I don't need to get fingerprints on my background. but I also don't really want tape up on my sky. I guess I could because this is a thick frame, but you know what? The Post-it note's already there, so I'm gonna just work with it. Okay, a little more dark color. Yeah, and I think that is where we're gonna leave it. So I didn't end up using Salvage Patina, but sigh for another time. There's a new Better Press ink color coming out that looks a lot like Salvage Patina, and I am super excited to have that in my crafty hands. Okay, now that we are done blending the background, I need to add some stuff to my mountains. Look at that. That is so cool. Oh my goodness. Okay, so for my mountains, I need to get a gray. This one that's called Lost Shadow, I haven't even opened. I just opened it right now. And I'm wondering if that would be good for my mountains. So the mountains would go here, and then they need a top. Wouldn't it make more sense to have the top be white? Am I just being dunce? Maybe I'll use a white pigment ink on top of that. Okay, that's the plan. Making plans on the fly. All right, let's tape this little lady down and we'll get to inking up the mountains. Okay, I kind of feel like that needs to be darker. So, cool. We're gonna just move that along. See if I have any darker, kind of like a gray or a black. I don't know if I do. We'll see. Okay, we're gonna go rogue. I do not, in fact, have a gray or a black Distress Oxide, but I do have a shaded lilac, which is like a purpley color. So I might regret this, but this is what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try using this very lightly, adding it to the pebble that's already on there, and we're gonna get like a Purple Mountain Majesty. Feeling American today. And we'll just see. I don't want to go too heavy-handed on this, just a little. I'm loving it. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. Next, we're gonna add the white back on top of the mountains. I think that I will use my white pigment ink for this. I know I'm mixing pigment with oxide. Hold your gasps. Do you have America the Beautiful song stuck in your head yet? I will refrain from singing it out of charity for your ears. Alrighty, so we have this little guy. You know, I think, so here's the deal. I don't have my blending not pouncer things, but like the felt pad things because of the move. So I'm going to use my finger. So if that triggers you, see you in a minute or two. But I'm just going to use my finger. And now I'm feeling like I am getting fingerprinted. But I just need that ink on there, and I have some squishy finger pads, so we're just going to hope for the best. By the way, this is Hero Hues from Hero Arts, and this is Unicorn. I've only ever seen unicorns be pictured as white, so that's weird, but that's what they named this ink. Okay, here we go. Okay, I kind of feel like I just wrecked that, so that's fun. But you know, snow is not perfect, and I know that because I'm a Minnesotan, and I think I'm going to fix this with an inky gel pen. So we're going to just trust the process and it'll be fine. Can you tell the confidence in my voice? It'll be fine. Okay, I'm going to just clean up my work surface here and I'll be right back. All right, so with my Jelly Roll pen, I am going to just add a little bit more white to some of the areas on the mountains that kind of got a little bit loose. I think the parts that are down here are fine, but right here where it's like the snow's coming off of the mountain, I'm just going to kind of connect that a little with my gel pen. Should I have used my finger for blending? Probably not, but you know, it gives it a real personal touch, and that's just fine. What a happy accident, in the words of Bob Ross. Okay, so that really was a lesson learned. Next, I'm going to add my little elements to my night sky. And I wasn't sure if I was going to use all of the clouds or not, so we'll see what looks good once I get things going. But I die cut out all of the clouds and then an extra, I think, of this one, just in case. But I thought it would be kind of fun to have options, so I did an extra. So now I'm going to be putting it into the window after, because I already have glue on my frame. And I'm going to pick it up so I can line it up just where I want it. It's just lining up with the back basically. Like so. Ooh, that looks so good. Look at how inky that is. Alright, and then with my Spellbinders shears, I'm going to trim off the clouds. Did you see what I did to my shears? I glued on rhinestones because I was feeling extra one day and my creativity was not flowing. So I just put on a TV show on my computer and I just glued rhinestones onto my shears like a normal person. Okay, there's my sky. Ooh, that looks so pretty. Okay, and then we'll glue on the moon. Then once I have my glue on my picture area, I can just use my gem picker and pick up all of my stars. I should probably count how many I have before I go crazy with the glue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should have remembered that because there was 3 stars to cut. So therefore I did 3 times, and that's 3 times 3 is 9. There's 8. Let's put one little low star. Look how cute that is. Oh my. It really just looks like almost a baby card. You know, I was going to embellish this gray piece, and I think I will, even though I have tape on the back. We're going to just, again, go rogue. I think that I need to just slow down a little bit to my craft room today because I'm feeling a little chaotic, which is basically my normal for crafting. But let's grab a fun embossing folder for the back of the sky. Okay, I pulled out 3 options and now I have to kind of decide. I was thinking this one would be kind of fun and funky. I think that's what I'm going to do, but I really do like these 2 as well. These 2 are embossing folders that are 3D. This one's a regular. I think I'm going to do this one. Okay, now even though it's not an embossing folder, that is a 3D embossing folder, I always spritz when I emboss just so I get the best impression, basically. And the Mighty Mister from Spellbinders is the way to go. So I always do this off to the side so my workspace doesn't get all watery. But this is the Mighty Mister from Spellbinders. And I spray my folder. I don't spray my paper. I know that's kind of like, again, not probably what everybody does, but whatever. I do 1 spritz. And I basically, I'll show you, I just did it, but I go like this as I spray and I get the whole folder. Even though this isn't the whole folder, but I'm probably going to have to add more tape on the back, but whatever. All right, I'm going to try to get this straight. I'm sure the tape's kind of helping with that. Close it up, I'll run it through my platinum, and we'll be good to go. Yes, it stuck a little bit to my folder, but it wasn't a big deal. Look how cool that looks. I'm going to use the deboss side since that's what is not taped, but the other side is really cool too. So that's pretty fun. All right, put that back on my black card front, like so. And then for my window, I wanted to add a sentiment. So I think my window is going to go about there. I'll just set that off to the side as I kind of deal with my sentiment choice. Let's see. There's so many good ones this time. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Let's see. I'm going to go with this one. Adventure is just outside your window. The font of that one is just really speaking to me. So let's do it. Okay, ta-da, just perfect. Which is better than just fine. Okay, let's just trim this down. I think I will mat it with a colored cardstock behind it. And I think I'm going to go for a dark blue because I'm going to put the sentiment on the bottom of the card. And blue is on the top, so I think that that will kind of mirror nicely. And I'm using the Tim Holtz Tonic Mini Trimmer. I know people have feelings and thoughts about this, but it does work very well for me when I am trimming my little paper. Okay, let's go to my blue scraps and pull out something. I think that'll work. This is just some blue paper from Stampin' Up! From the 90s. So, do I know the color? No. And nor do I know if they even sell it still. So, there you have that. Stampin' Up! Is still a company, of course, but I don't know their products. I'm not up to date on that. So, you know, if you know, let me know in the comments. But paper lasts for a long, long time, and I adore using scraps, especially for things like this or for die cutting really intricate dies. I loved using up my scraps for that bunny in a basket card that just went up on my channel on the 3rd. So, of course, I didn't cut this straight, so I'm just gonna hope for the best with that last trim. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. And anyway, I love using up my scraps. I feel like I'm getting all of my money's worth from my paper, whether I bought it or my mom bought it in the 90s from Stampin' Up! Or Creative Memories. Either way, I love using scraps. Oh, that is really cool. Should I add the clouds? Would that be kind of cutesy or no? I don't know why I always ask like you can answer me. Because by the time you're watching this, it'll be later, skater. I think I am going to use the clouds just because it's kind of fun to use for the mountains and such. I am going to just kind of move them over so they don't hang off too much because I really don't feel like adding any bracing behind them or anything like that. So we'll just hope for the best. That's kind of good. It's a dreamy card. It doesn't have to be perfect or really even realistic. Man, my hands are dirty after all the ink and the whole finger smushing. And now the glue. That's okay. Are you even crafting if you don't get your hands dirty? Oh, that looks really cute. Okay. Now let's pop this onto my card base. Yes, I just said pop again. That's pop number 2. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this process with me. It's been really fun to make this one on camera with you. I'm going to just use my little tray here to push it down. I don't want any ink getting on my hands and smushing it on any of the white parts. But anyway, like I said, I have another card to show you. So let's look at that other card while I let that dry. Here's a underwater themed card. Look how cute that is. If I do say so myself, I had fun making the water. You can see there's some sparkle there. There's teeny tiny Nuvo drops that I use this crystal clear Nuvo for. You can see it's called Morning Dew. And that's the bubbles for the fish. I use the glitter paper for the seaweed. I use these sequin little discs that were from the advent calendar. I pulled out an old embossing folder on the back from last June's club, and then I added 2 stamp sentiments from this stamp set. So there's a look at that. Oh, that is so fun. Okay, so with these 2 cards together, I have 2 cards from Tina Smith's collection, but I am certain that I will make some more. So if you're interested to see more, make sure to subscribe to my channel and to join my Facebook groups, the Better Press Babes and the Spellbinders Maker groups. Spellbinders Maker group on Facebook. And then I also am part of the admin team on the Foiling Snobs Club, and if you like to hot foil or toner foil, that is a really awesome group for foiling. So let's be friends on those groups, and if you've liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos from me in the future. See you next time, crafty friend. Bye-bye.